Error correction or detection codes. We will see two types of codes. One is parity code and the second one is Hamming code. When does error occur? When you have a transmitter and a receiver and data is transmitted from one end to the other. The data that is transmitted from the transmitter, this being the transmitter and this being the receiver, this data may not be received as such at the receiver. So there might be some error and it might end up in a corrupt data or a different data that we call it D2, which means that some amount of noise or disturbance or corruption has occurred between D1 and D2. This results in what we call as error. The receiver needs to detect this error as well as be able to correct it at times. So this kind of detection and correction can be done using some special codes, and these are parity codes and Hamming codes. Usually the error that occurs from transmission from transmitter to the receiver, this kind of error is usually 1-bit error, which means that there is an error on only 1 bit of the data. This kind of 1-bit error can be detected using parity error codes. For example, if you take 0010, this is transmitted and at the receiver it is received as 0011. So 0010 being received as 0011, which means that there is a change in 1 bit of the data. This is what we call as 1-bit error. So this bit is erroneously received and that is what we call as 1-bit error. Let us now discuss the parity bit. There are two types of parity bit, even parity bit and odd parity bit. What you do in this case is, if you have a message, say 0011, you count the number of ones here. In this case, there are 2 ones. And you append one more bit along with the message. The extra bit that you append should make the total number of ones as even. The extra bit that you append should make the total number of ones as even. So right now, when you count the number of ones, it is already even. Therefore, the bit that you append should be a 0. So the total number of ones will still be even. You count the number of ones here, you get even number of ones. The 0 here does not add to the number of ones. This 0 is actually called the parity bit. This is the case of even parity. Now when you come to odd parity, you take the same message 0011. You have to append one more bit, and the extra bit that you append should make the total number of ones odd. So in this case, the total number of ones is already 2, which means to make it odd, I have to insert one more 1. Therefore, the odd parity bit that you insert is a 1. This is how even parity and odd parity work. If you take an example here of odd parity, let me take the case of transmission of the letter or character A. A is transmitted in the form of ASCII code as 1, 5 zeros and a 1. In order to transmit it, you append an extra bit, that is a parity bit. Since you're using odd parity, when you count the number of ones, you have 2 ones in this case. So to make it odd, you have to add one more 1. So the odd parity bit turns out to be a 1 in this case. Okay. Thus, we form the odd parity bit. This is what is transmitted. That is the original ASCII code of the letter or character A along with the odd parity bit 1. This is how we transmit. Now at the receiver, when you receive the data, the receiver is aware of whether you're using even or odd parity system. So when you know that it is odd parity, the receiver will count the number of ones received. Suppose the received data has an error, and this is the data that is received. So you see there is an error in this bit. The receiver will count the number of ones of the data received. It counts 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 ones, which makes it even, which means that there is an error. This is how error is detected in case of parity bit. These are examples. You have an original data here, all zeros. To make it even, you have to, the total number of ones even. To keep it even, it is 0. If it is odd parity that you're using, you have to use a 1. In the second data that you see here, when you count the number of ones, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you're using an even parity system, the parity bit that you insert turns out to be a 1 in order to keep the number of ones even. 5 plus 1 is 6. And the odd parity, to keep it at odd number, the odd parity bit turns out to be a 0. So in this manner, we can insert or determine the even parity bit or odd parity bit along with the original data. Now, in case of parity system, we cannot correct the code. We are able to detect the code, but we are not able to identify the position at which the error has occurred. Therefore, error correction may not be possible. Error correction by itself is actually an expensive process, and therefore we restrict ourselves to single bit error correction. Single bit error correction covers most of the errors, and therefore we generally go for single bit error correction. One popular method that is used is Hamming code. Hamming code will help us in both error detection as well as error correction. So by definition, Hamming code is a set of error correction codes that can be used to both detect as well as correct bit errors, one-bit errors that can occur when the computer data is moved or stored. So when data is moved or stored or transmitted, Hamming code can be used for both detection as well as correction of error. Now, in order to do or form the Hamming code, we have two steps. We have the original message. Let the original message be equal to 0001. That's a 4-bit data. Now, to form the Hamming code, we do not know how many bits to add to this original message. The Hamming code will have variable number of bits depending on the number of bits in your message. The total number of bits in the Hamming code depends on the number of bits in your message. So we have to find out how many bits to append or insert into this message to form the final Hamming code. Okay, so to form the Hamming code, we have to insert p number of bits into the m number of bits in the message. In this case, the message is 0001. How many bits does it have? 4. From this, I have to find out what is p. That means how many bits should I insert into the message to make it or convert it into a Hamming code. After you get the number of bits, we need to identify the positions in which this p has to be inserted. Suppose I get 3 bits. 3 number of bits. Now these p number of bits are referred to as parity bits also. These 3 parity bits has to be inserted somewhere inside the message. Perhaps here, and perhaps here. I do not know the positions. So the second step is to identify the positions in which we have to insert the p bits. To identify the positions of the p bits, we use the condition 2 raised to p is greater than or equal to m plus p plus 1, where p is the number of bits to be inserted, and these bits are called parity bits. In our case, we know that the message is 0001. What is the total number of bits in this data or message? 4. Therefore, the value of m is already known to us as 4. We do not know the value of p, and therefore this boils down to 2 raised to p is greater than or equal to 4 plus p plus 1. Okay. So let us see. The message is 0001. Message m, the total number of bits m is equal to 4. The condition that you're using is 2 raised to p is greater than or equal to m plus p plus 1, and that becomes 2 raised to p is greater than or equal to 4 plus p plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 2 raised to p is greater than or equal to p plus 5. Let us find the value of p by trial and error, which is the simplest method. Let p equal to 1. When you substitute p equal to 1, it becomes 2 is greater than or equal to 6, which is not true. Therefore, p cannot be equal to 1. If you check for p equal to 2, you get 4 is greater than or equal to 7, which is also not true. Therefore, p cannot be equal to 2. Now let us assume p is equal to 3. When 2 raised to 3 is greater than or equal to 3 plus 5, yes, the equal to condition is satisfied. Therefore, p is equal to 3. And there you have it, you got the value of p. Now the second step that we need to follow is, you have to form the final Hamming code using the bit position table. How to construct the bit position table? It has 4 rows. The first one is bit position. You simply name it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How did I get 7? I got 7 by adding the total number of bits, the total number of message bits plus the total number of parity bits. The total number of message bits was 4 and parity bits I already got as 3. Therefore, I got 7. That is how I wrote binary positions from 1 to 7. In the next row, you write the binary code corresponding to 1 to 7, which is 1 stands for 001, 2 for 010, etc. Now I have to find out the positions. The This is very easy. All you have to do is check the binary code and identify the codes which have only a single one in the code. The first one, 001, has only a single one here. Therefore, I designate it as the first parity bit P1. I check this next one, there is only a single one here. Therefore, I designate the next one as P2 in order. I check the third binary position, I see that there are two ones, therefore I have to skip that. I'm looking for a single one in the binary code. The third one, the next one, the fourth one is 100, which also satisfies the condition of having only one in the binary code, so I write it as P3. And that's all I have, only three parity bits, and therefore I have identified the positions of P1, P2 and P3. The remaining positions that are vacant, you fill it with the message bits M1, M2, M3, M4 in order. M1, M2, M3 in order, M4 in order, okay, starting from the left hand side. So I have already written the message bits. My message was 0001, so I have written 0001, and that's how I fill that table. Now let us identify or find out what is the value of P1, P2 and P3. In order to do that, you treat P1 as a parity bit, which checks 4 bits of data. What are the 4 bits including P1? P1 is formed by checking the bits at binary positions 1, 3, 5 and 7. How did I get 1, 3, 5 and 7? Look at P1. P1 is 001. Where does the 1 come? In the third position. So I look for the binary codes where the 1 is present in the third position. Here, here, here and here. And that's how I got by position 1, position 3, position 5 and position 7. So let us write down the values. P1 I do not know, I have written it as such. M1, yes, I know it as 0. M2 position 5, yes, it is 0. And M4 position 7, it is 1. So P1, 0, 0, 1. If I have to make an even parity, which will already be mentioned in the question or in the system that you're using, will define which parity you're using. So if you're using an even parity, P1, 0, 0, 0, P1 and 001 has to make an even parity. In order to make an even parity, I have to append P1 equal to 1. So the total number of ones will be even. Now we have fixed the value of P1. In the same way, we fix the value of P2. That is, P2 will check all the positions which have the second position as 1. This, position 6 and 7. So I have 2, 3, 6 and 7. Positions 2, 3, 6 and 7 stands for P2, M1, M3 and M4. Let us substitute. I do not know P2. I substitute M1, M3, M4, 0, 0, 1. I already know that I need to make an even parity Hamming code. Therefore, to make the total number of ones as even, P2 should be equal to 1. Once again, I've got the value of P2. In the same way, you go for finding P3 and you get the value of P3 equal to 1 in order to make the parity even. Thus, we have formed a final Hamming code which will be 1101001. So, the Hamming code that is transmitted will be 1101001. This is a 7-bit Hamming code corresponding to a message of 4 bits. Okay, so this is how we form the Hamming code for any given message using the binary position table. I hope you have understood this. This is the transmission part, just the formation of Hamming code. In the next video, we will be seeing how to detect an error in the received Hamming code and correct the error in the received Hamming code. Okay, so that's all for right now. Thank you. Bye.